They came from the sky. They brought knowledge, power, and then, they vanished. The ancient Sumerians called them Anunnaki, mighty beings who descended from the heavens to shape the fate of mankind. They claimed these visitors built cities, taught us language, gave us laws, and may have created us in their own image. For thousands of years, their story was told as myth. But what if it wasn't? What if their blood still flows in certain people today? What if the rulers, the kings, the untouchable elite are not entirely human at all? Are the Anunnaki or their descendants still walking among us, quietly guiding the world from the shadows? This is the silent era, and to uncover the truth, we must go back. Back to the dawn of civilization. The dawn of civilization. Over 6,000 years ago, in the rich lands between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, a people emerged who would change history forever. They were the Sumerians, farmers, builders, and record keepers. And on their clay tablets, they told of visitors, beings who did not come from earth. They called them Anunnaki, those who came from the heavens. Powerful, immortal, and impossibly wise. They could command the winds, bring rain to the deserts, judge kings, and decide the fate of men. From In, god of the sky, and Ki, goddess of the earth, came a family of celestial rulers. Enlil, lord of the air and keeper of divine law. Enki, master of wisdom, creation, and the life-giving waters. The Anunnaki built cities like Eridu and Uruk not just for humans, but as meeting places between gods and men. Towering ziggurats rose like stairways to the stars. And they gave humans gifts no tribe could invent alone: writing, mathematics, medicine, calendars. The blueprint for civilization itself. But hidden within these gifts was something far more dangerous. A secret about who we really are and where we truly come from. That secret would remain buried for thousands of years. Until the 1970s, when one man dared to read the Sumerian tablets in a way no scholar ever had. His name was Zecharia Sitchin. And what he found turned myth into something terrifyingly real. To Sitchin, the Anunnaki were not distant gods. They were flesh and blood beings, visitors from another world. A world he called Nibiru, a hidden planet with an orbit so long, it passes near Earth only once every 3,600 years. According to him, they came here with a purpose: not to worship, not to teach, but to mine. Their prize? Gold, the one element they needed to save their planet's failing atmosphere. But the work was brutal, even for them. So the Anunnaki took a daring step. They would make a new worker. Sitchin believed they found an early species of human on Earth and changed it forever. Through genetic engineering, they mixed their own DNA with ours. After countless failed experiments, one creation finally lived. It could speak. It could learn. It could obey. They named him Adamu, a name hauntingly close to Adam. And if Sitchin was right, every one of us carries the legacy of that first experiment. If the Anunnaki created us, they didn't stop there. Some humans, the Sumerians claimed, were not just made by the gods, they were born from them. One of these was Gilgamesh, king of Uruk. The tablets describe him as 2/3 divine, 1/3 human, the son of a mortal man and the goddess Ninsun. His strength, wisdom, and unstoppable will were proof of his godly blood. And Gilgamesh was not alone. Other rulers were called sons of Anu, the sky god. Some were chosen by Enlil, the lord of the earth. To the people of that time, these titles weren't symbolic. They meant the rulers carried something inside them, a spark of the heavens itself. This idea spread far beyond Sumer. In Egypt, pharaohs claimed descent from Ra, the sun god. In Japan, emperors traced their bloodline to the goddess Amaterasu. In Mesoamerica, kings were said to be children of the stars. If true, it means a single thread of divine blood could run through the veins of rulers across the globe, a bloodline carefully protected for thousands of years. But what if science has already found the first clue to prove it? That first clue may already be in our veins. Most of the world, about 85%, has Rh-positive blood. That means their red blood cells carry a tiny protein called the Rh factor. But around 15% of humans don't have it at all. They are Rh-negative. And that difference is not small. If an Rh-negative mother carries an Rh-positive child, her body can attack the baby, treating it like an intruder. Without modern medicine, this often ended in tragedy. So here's the question. If all humans came from the same ancestors, why would nature create a blood type that rejects its own kind? The highest concentration of Rh-negative blood is found in one place, the Basque region, in the mountains between France and Spain. The Basques are unique, their language has no known relatives, their customs are ancient, and up to 35% of them are Rh-negative, more than double the global average. Some believe the Basques are survivors of a lost world Atlantis, carrying with them advanced knowledge and a different kind of blood. Could this rare blood be a genetic fingerprint left behind by the Anunnaki themselves? If so, it means their legacy isn't just in our history books, it's in us. If this bloodline is real, then who carries it today? One man claims to know. In the 1990s, British researcher David Icke put forward a theory so explosive, many refused to even hear it. He said the bloodline of the gods never vanished. It still exists in our most powerful families. Presidents, prime ministers, bankers, royals. The people who shape nations and never seem to lose their grip on power. But Icke went further. He claimed these descendants are not entirely human. They are hybrids, part human, part something else. According to him, the Anunnaki were not just gods or aliens, but shape-shifting reptilian beings from a distant star system called Alpha Draconis. Thousands of years ago, they came to Earth and created ruling bloodlines to control humanity from the shadows. They built kingdoms, empires, governments, all linked by one thing, their blood. Blue blood, Icke says, is not a poetic title, but a literal truth. From ancient Sumer, to pharaonic Egypt, to medieval Europe, to the boardrooms and parliaments of today, the same bloodline has ruled for millennia. And if Icke is right, their control isn't just political. It's something far older and far darker. If these rulers are part human, and part something else, then maybe the oldest book in history has been warning us all along. In the Bible, the book of Genesis hides a chilling verse. There were giants in the earth in those days, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. These giants were called the Nephilim. To some scholars, sons of God means angels. But others believe they were the same beings the Sumerians called the Anunnaki, visitors from the heavens who crossed a forbidden line. The result? Children who were taller, stronger, and far more dangerous than ordinary humans. The ancient world feared them not just for their size, but for their violence. The Bible says God destroyed them in the great flood. But after the flood, they appeared again. The Anakim, the Rephaim, tribes so fearsome that Israelite spies said, "We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes." One of their last known descendants became the most famous giant of all, Goliath of Gath. If these stories are true, the blood of the Nephilim and the Anunnaki didn't disappear. It may still be flowing in the veins of certain families even now. If giants were real in the past, could they still exist today? Some say yes, and their stories are hard to ignore. In 2002, during a U.S. military mission in the remote mountains of Afghanistan, a patrol went missing. A rescue team was sent, but what they found wasn't in any official report. They entered a dark cave and something stepped out. A towering figure over 12 feet tall with flaming red hair, pale skin, and 6 fingers on each hand. It carried a spear the size of a telephone pole. And it moved with terrifying speed. The creature killed one soldier instantly. The others opened fire with everything they had. Minutes later, the giant fell. A helicopter arrived, took the body, and it was never seen again. The military stayed silent. But the soldiers never forgot. And it's not the only story. In 1911, miners in Lovelock, Nevada uncovered massive skeletons 8 to 10 feet tall with red hair. Local Paiute legends spoke of the Saiti Ka, a tribe of violent red-haired giants driven into caves and burned alive centuries ago. Mainstream science dismisses these accounts, but similar stories appear all over the world. From ancient Sumerian tablets to Native American legends to modern battlefields, the same truth seems to echo. Something not entirely human once walked this earth and may still be out there. A story of beings who came from the sky, who shaped our civilizations, who may have altered our very DNA. The Sumerians called them the Anunnaki. The Bible called them the Nephilim. Others call them reptilian bloodlines, the hidden rulers of the earth. The names change. The stories change. But the core is always the same. Someone or something has been here alongside us for a very long time. If the legends are true, their descendants may still walk among us, not in some faraway galaxy, but in palaces, parliaments, and boardrooms. Maybe their power isn't just wealth or influence but something far older. Something written in their blood. And perhaps that's why they've been able to shape human history for thousands of years without most of us even noticing. But here's the real question. Are these beings still guiding humanity toward something? Or are we simply part of a plan we were never meant to understand? Look at the patterns, the symbols, the secrecy, the way power clings to certain families. Is it all just coincidence? Or is it the echo of an ancient pact still unfolding today? This is the silent era, and we've only just scratched the surface.